Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. If you're a new listener, welcome. If you're a veteran, welcome back. Hans is with us, joining us today.
Yeah.
Always. Us, like you guys. That's why I say us, but it's
Yeah.
really Hans and I are talking. It's two lonely men talking to each other. That's all it is. Let's just say what it is.
We should start drinking whiskey
And
and smoke
cigars.
Have a fireplace.
And we're gonna talk today about housebreaking or what today they
Potty
call it
train.
potty. Hans goes, I don't potty train.
I'm potty trained dog. Potty would mean the dog is shitting into the
Toilet.
boat, right?
You know?
That's what. I guess it's from babies or whatever. I housebreak dog. I don't
Yeah.
potty train them, but
Yeah, yeah.
what is?
The dogs are outside. She probably let them. My
Oh,
dogs
okay.
are outside. Hans is hearing the dogs.
Yeah. See, I'm not deaf.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I have ears like lynx.
He does.
Yeah, the hair coming up.
I know. He can hear things. He can hear what you're saying right now over there on the other side of internets.
Yeah, you know how
The
lynx
lynx.
have these ears.
Uh-huh.
So when I say I have ears,
You have many talents.
that's when I say I have ears like lynx.
Lynx.
That's what it means. I have the hair.
Things. Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Gotta
creatures.
shave it.
My dad saw one. Yeah, in Idaho. Oh,
Yeah, I've seen lynx in Czechoslovakia.
yeah, they're kind of elusive.
Yeah, it's like a bobcat, but I guess it's different, isn't it? I don't know.
It is different. Yeah, they have.
I've seen video on YouTube of lynx laying in the grass. And it's not that big, you know. I mean, bigger than house cat for
yeah,
sure,
yeah.
but not as big as mountain lion, right?
No.
And I've seen this big deer, come and the lynx got it on
Did
his
it?
throat and just killed the deer, man. It was amazing.
Yeah, pretty.
Yeah.
They got to survive. They can't go to the grocery store, so they get.
Anyway, body training, housebreaking.
Yeah,
Um,
because you raised puppies, you bred dogs,
well,
so
you know, it's like I'm selling puppies, right?
yeah,
And one of the biggest concerns, to my surprise, is that people worry about housebreaking their puppy. The number one reason why people want to buy older dog is not because it's trained or something, but because they don't want to go through the puppy stuff, they say.
which
And I say, what puppy stuff? And they say, I mean, that's the best age to have a dog is the puppy.
I know that's the most fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, well, I don't like the housebreaking or puppy, you know.
Potty. train.
So you get this dog which potentially will lay his life online to saving your ass.
But you
And
can.
you worry about it if you got piss on your tile floor in the kitchen, right?
You know what? It's funny because if you think about it that way, that's so somebody's listening to this or watching this and they're worrying about that.
Yeah,
Just
well, they
think
want
about that
protection
statement.
dog, and they want to have a badass dog who is going to be trained protection, so that when somebody breaks in their house, the
Yeah.
dog is going to rip their heart out, right? And eat their liver, but and die while doing it,
Yeah,
right? But they worry that when he's a little puppy, he may make this little
yeah,
$50 size puddle.
yeah. So what? Okay, what would you say to help the folks out there that might be getting a puppy
Well,
or?
you know what? There's two things going on. You have a housebreaking and you have marking. Okay. And marking is, of course, different than housebreaking, right?
Yeah.
Housebreaking is the dog is just relieving himself in the house.
Yeah.
And the reason why we can housebreak dog, meaning not to do that, is because they're den animals, and they live in so they live in den,
Yep.
and they don't, want to poop and pee in the den.
Yeah.
And when there are little tiny puppies, I'm gonna gross people out, but I don't care.
Yeah.
When just little tiny puppies, when they poop and pee, the mother immediately licks them and clean it up and eats it, basically, right? And so it's always clean there, right? And I guess if you look at it, the puppy who would shit in the den would cause more infection and parasites
Yeah.
and all that, and would not survive. So it's like a natural selection.
Yeah.
And the dogs just tend to be clean in the house or in the den, and the house is considered den, right? So the problem with the house is that it's sometimes too big for the puppy to think it's a den,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know, you have 24-foot ceilings.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, that's not like you have this little den where the puppy barely fits, right?
So they feel like more they're outside in a way, not even.
Yeah, they don't even realize they're inside, so
Yeah.
they start pissing and shitting in the
Yeah.
house because they don't think they're in the den,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, so what needs to be done is to put them in a crate when you cannot watch them, right? And put that crate next to your bed. Let's say you got a puppy, and so you put the crate next to your bed, and the puppy start trashing around middle of night. Well, you better get up and let the puppy out because he's gonna piss and shit in the crate at 2:00 at night, and now you gotta clean it up, right?
Yeah.
And so the puppies, there's this rule, right? The puppy needs to go out every time it eats, drinks, wakes up, get excited, and 2 to 4 hours after they eat and drink, they gotta go again, right? So at night, you know, you best is just to feed the puppies like at 5 o'clock in the evening.
So they can.
And so then you let them out right after they eat and drink. And then you let them out again 4 hours later around 9 o'clock, and then you go to bed, right? Okay?
So they should
And then
be.
they should be okay,
Okay.
you know, for most of the night. But if they're not, you have the puppy in the crate. And because they don't want to do it inside of the crate, they start trashing around. They'll wake you up, and you better get up and take them out.
Yeah.
So every time the dog eats, drinks, wakes up, get excited 2 to 4 hours after he eats and drinks. And so don't give them food or water just before you go to sleep, right?
Yeah. You're causing your own problem.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah. And so that's that, right? That's so now you wake up in the morning and just take the puppy right out.
First
Okay?
thing. Like,
first thing, right?
Yep.
And take them right out. And they poop and pee, and you say, good girl or good boy,
Yeah.
right? And then you're happy, you're teaching the dog right there, work for you and with you, and have a relationship with you.
Yeah.
And then you remember where they poop and pee before,
Yeah.
and then you take them there. You always take them to the same spot. Now, if it's not spot you would like them to poop and pee, take them poop and pee and put it wherever you want them to do it. And when you let them out of the house, take them to that spot, and when they sniff it right there, they will do it there. Okay. You know, so that's easy. You know. Now, most puppies are housebroken when they come here from Europe, or when you get it from.
Yeah, because they're like 4 months.
Yeah, no, they're about 8 weeks or
8 weeks,
you know,
not-
and so they're somewhat housebroken or quite a bit.
Yeah.
And because the mother stopped cleaning them after she stopped nursing them. So when they start eating meat or whatever, she will clean them less and less, right? And it coincides when you look at it as a wolf cub. Again, I like to go to those with the time they can get out
Yep.
of the den, which is
Yeah.
about 7-8 weeks.
Yeah.
So then they automatically do it outside. That's their instinct to do it outside,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so if you keep the puppies like a breeder for longer than 8 weeks, and you don't let them out,
Yeah.
you know, they live indoors,
Yeah.
then they piss and shit indoors. They learn to piss and shit indoors. and now you broke that instinct, and it's hard for them to then go and be housebroken, right? A lot of times people, or if you keep the puppy too long in the crate, and he start pissing and shitting, it may get so bad that the dog will not piss and shit outside. He thinks he's supposed to piss and shit in the crate.
Oh, I see.
You see?
Yeah, yeah.
So, but that's caused by either the person who had the dog before or by you. You know, so that's learned behavior, but the natural instinct is to do it outside. So
Yeah.
go along with the dog and try to,
Yeah.
you know, give them the chance to do what they like want to do by instincts naturally,
Yeah.
right? And they should also go out about every 4 to 6 hours. You know, so then, well, yeah, so you you go to bed at night, well, you may want to get up again at 1 or 4 o'clock, 2 o'clock at night
Yeah.
to let them out. It's fun, you know.
Yeah.
You may want to see how stars looks.
But this goes back to the whole thing about bonding, right? About the relationship between you and the dog, right? So it's it's
Just
hard.
remember that dog.
Right?
Why did you get the dog? People call me and they want to buy the dog. Just recently I had somebody and she is worried that, you know, somebody may want to hurt her. A lot of times women, you know, they're softer, not as strong as men, so they have different worries that strong man does. And sometimes they were hurt by a guy. And I call it victim of violent crimes dog. It gives them confidence a little bit and all that. And but they get this dog for protection, you know. And but then so you got to sacrifice a little bit too. That dog is willing eventually. If you play it right and want to train him correctly, that dog is gonna die for you. He's your samurai. And you worry, don't worry about, you know, it's okay, you gotta get out and let him take a piss and shit, you know, at 2 o'clock.
Yeah. I'm just saying it builds bond actually between you and the dog.
That's what I mean, you know.
We talk about this with Hans, and Hans talks about this all the time, that there's like almost no conversation on YouTube with the dog trainers about relationship. It's always, you know, the cookie and the toy and, you know, the sport thing and that, but there's just no one even shows or talks about
you gotta sacrifice a little bit for that dog too, you know. With some kind of inconvenience, not just spending money on bag of dog food and shove it in front of in their dish and you know.
And the dog is 100% dependent on you.
Right. And so don't you know, it just tells me something maybe about you. Maybe you don't realize it.
Yeah.
Or maybe you are just a shallow person.
And the dog shows this actually in you.
Right.
I mean,
and if you don't realize it, I understand. You know, I mean, you know, nobody's perfect except me, of course.
Well, there's that.
Right?
Yeah.
But
the dog shows things in us that, because they're so loving and
well, but then people at the other extreme, they love their dog almost too much.
Yeah,
You know, just to the point that they start doing unnatural things for the dog.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want the dog to go outside, so they have these pads, right? So they teach the dog to, you know, there's these pads, you know, and people go and buy them, and the dog, they smell somehow, attract the dog, and they piss and shit on
the
those
people,
pads.
Oh yeah, they're killing it right now.
So what you're doing right there, you're destroying the instinct. You're teaching the dog to piss and shit in the den.
Yeah.
And then you're supposed to move the pet closer and closer to the door until, you know.
Just take the dog down. It's probably tougher in like high rises in cities a little bit, because you got to get down to the elevator.
No, you just gotta get up.
Just
go to the elevator.
Okay.
Go down. Let them piss and shit.
Okay.
I mean, people in Czechoslovakia, they don't. At least when I used to live there were not as many people living in houses. It was all, you know, these
5 to 10 story.
5 to 10 stories, thousands of people.
I lived in one, the 5-story one. Not the 10 stories were like, whoa.
That 5 stories, 5 maybe.
They had elevators in it. The 10 stories.
Yeah.
But the 5 stories, we had to There's no elevator. Yeah.
No, we had elevators.
Oh, you did?
25. Oh, yeah.
We did.
Yeah, and my sister still lives in one of them.
Yeah, that's why
They
everybody
call
was
it panel houses.
panel houses made out of concrete panels.
Concrete, the kind of poured concrete somewhere, and then they brought on trucks and crane just.
Yeah, that's the communist, the communist regime's building. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
People liked it.
So Hans and I have some things in common.
Yeah. So you gotta get out and just
Yeah.
let the dog piss and shit and pick up the shit.
Okay.
It's just part of having dogs.
Yeah.
And people in Czechoslovakia, there are a lot of people having dogs living in those buildings.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was just, I remember there was this woman, she had a collie, his name was Barik. And she would go take him out and he would bark. And you can hear the echo through the hallways of the giant apartment complex.
Concrete.
Whatever, I forgot her name, but I don't forget the dog's name. Oh, Barik is going to pee again 2 o'clock.
I see. It was at 2 in the morning.
Yeah. Rawr, rawr, rawr. Yeah. And she neutered him, man. It was kind of unheard of back then.
Uh-huh.
And she got divorced, so she was all whacked out, because back then to get divorced, it was like 3% at most of people would get divorced.
Yeah.
So when she walked with the dog in front of the apartment complex, people from behind the curtain look at her and say, look, that's a woman who got divorced.
Yeah.
Or look, that's a woman who neutered her dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she was living alone and she had Barik and she took good care of him,
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
So that's
the housebreaking part, right? And then you have when the dog needs to relieve himself, right? And then you have a marking that usually is done by dogs, right? Sometimes females do it. Females will go piss on your bed, right? That's marking.
Okay.
And the dog will piss on vertical surfaces, corner of your couch, table, corner of your room, house, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And they do that to mark the territory.
Yeah.
This is mine. This is my breeding ground.
Yeah.
Stay away. That's what it means.
Yeah. My male outside pees after she pees every time, just outside.
Go pees on her
pees,
pee.
exactly.
Yeah, this is mine.
Yeah.
This is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Even though he's neutered, it's still there.
Yeah, he's neuter, yeah.
Yeah, people think they neuter the dog, it's going to go away. It may, but probably
He
not.
does it every single. He's like all excited to go there.
Yeah,
He sniffs it and pees.
Yeah, it's just instinct.
Yeah.
Well, so in order, if you get a dog trained and you bring a new dog in your house, right? And you don't want him to mark, piss on vertical surfaces, right?
Uh-huh.
So what you do is this. I learned this from this one girl in California, which was pretty good. And it's a long time, 30 years ago. Anyway, what you do, you keep the dog in crate, right? Because when you sleep, he was going to go and start pissing all over your bedroom on vertical. And then you walk in and say, oh, what is that? And so what you do, you keep him in the crate, at least for a few weeks when you get the dog.
Uh-huh.
And you take him out of the crate in the morning, right? Hook him up on the leash and start walking with him around the house.
Uh-huh.
And every time he sniffs or thinks that he's going to lift the leg, you got to be quick because they can do it really fast.
Uh-huh.
You just say no
Right.
and kind of keep going, right? But don't be too hard on him because lifting leg is kind of a sign of insecurity. And then they piss on and mark, something, and then the dog feels like, okay, now it's mine, so they're not insecure anymore. That's why they do that, right? Like this is the marking the territory, so that they want them to know, everybody know that
that's theirs,
right?
Uh-huh.
And so they, so what you do, you take the dog out of the crate, hook him up on a choker, and start walking around the house. I would say spend about 2 minutes. Just go back and forth around. He sniffs, I say no, and pop him a little bit, and he looks at you, said no. Because you know what's on his mind. Remember, you always train his brain, not his actions.
Not the actions, yeah.
Once he starts lifting leg, well, you already made the decision. Yeah. You want him to stop, not to make that decision. Right?
Yeah.
And then you go outside, after those 2 minutes, walking zigzag through the house, and let him loose. And he goes, and then let him get it out of his system. The instinct to mark the territory, let him mark his territory outside. You know, piss on a tree, piss on a corner of the wall, piss on a rock,
Yeah.
piss on tulips. You know, sometimes they'll piss on your leg.
I saw that at training once. It was funny. But
That's
and how many? So how often and how many times? Or
Every time you let him, you start doing something. So when you
how long should that continue?
if you take first you keep him in the crate on the leash or
Yeah.
outside,
Yeah.
all right, or
Yeah.
on long line if it's a really new dog.
Yeah.
So don't let him walk loose, right? And they do that for a few weeks.
Yeah.
And if you want to let the dog loose in the house, new dog, you gotta watch him. Like I'm not talking watch him like 99% of the time. I'm talking 100%.
Okay.
Because you turn around and go pick up something which followed the ground, piece of paper or something, and as you turn around, boom, he's gonna go and piss on the car right there because he knows that you don't see him. So you gotta watch him 100% of the time. But really, and then when he goes and start walking and sniffing, you yell at him no. But if you don't
Too
have him
late.
trained well, he still will lift that leg. And once he pisses on it, it's almost impossible to stop him from pissing on that particular part of the furniture or whatever.
Smell it always there.
You know, so it's best just to keep him on the leash or in the crate, and then take him out and let him do it out there and say good boy and let him piss and all that on corners or trees and rocks and whatever.
So for a few weeks you should do this, or
It's tough to say.
okay, depending.
Pretty
on it.
long time.
Okay.
Pretty long time.
Okay.
You know.
But not all dogs will do that. I mean, adult.
All
dogs.
males tend to do that,
All males.
Yeah.
Okay.
but some of them are worse than the others.
Okay.
And if you get a dog which was living in the house and was pissing in that house, he might tend to do it in your house. So it's up to you to not allow that
Okay.
from get-go.
Okay. Day
And
one.
then you have a house where was some other dog living,
Yeah.
and your dog is going to try to mark over that
Oh, I see.
order.
I see.
And it doesn't matter how well you clean it. You can paint the house and pour peroxide and I don't know, whatever.
The odor.
They'll just keep doing it.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So once the spot was marked by another dog or your dog, it's really hard to break the dog from that. Yeah.
Okay.
So the best is just not to even start.
Okay.
It's like any misbehaving.
Yeah. You don't want it to happen.
But if you catch him, this is important, and your dog is suddenly say, "Oh shit, he's pissing," and you start yelling at him, marking. I mean,
yeah.
you're making it worse because you're making him more insecure. He's like, "What? What am I doing?" He keeps pissing. It's like, "Oh, what? What? It's still pissing while he's," he doesn't understand what you're upset about.
Yeah.
And now you're increasing his insecurity, and so he's gonna piss even more.
Because the action's been done.
Right, but the thing is, remember, it's a part of his somewhat being insecure. So when you start dominating, yelling at him, "Don't do it!"
Oh, so
you increasing that insecurity, so actually making it worse. The best thing to do is just to grab the dog and take him out.
okay. So don't
Don't
go for
even
that.
say anything. Don't get upset. It's hard not to get upset.
Yeah.
You just spent $3,000 on painting inside of your house, and dog is pissing on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's upsetting.
Yeah. Yeah.
But remember, one day, somebody's going to kick door in 2 o'clock and he's going to rip their heart out
Yeah.
for you and die while doing that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a trade-off,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This was good. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. This was a good topic that, I highly doubt that there's many, this type of discussion about potty training. What Hans just talked about here, it's definitely a different.
Well, that's the reality of it.
Yeah.
That's the understanding. It's not perfect.
Yeah.
Life is not perfect.
Yeah.
Dog will piss on a carpet
That's the
sometimes.
thing with dogs. It's funny. It's like, you see these dogs flying through, and it's like, but it's a struggle, right? It's like they make mistakes, we make mistakes, and
Yeah.
they're not perfect. We're not perfect, and
Yeah.
but they make it look like my dog is. If you enjoyed this content so far, please subscribe to our channel. Also, Hans has a podcast channel called Dog Training for Life. Check that out so you can listen to the audio version.
And they want them to be perfect. Well, we can strive for perfection, but
But
just don't be unhappy
Yeah.
because you will never, if you don't reach it, because you never will.
yeah. So,
You know.
all right. Well, thank you for your knowledge, Hans. Please subscribe, share, hit that button wherever it is.
Right bottom corner.
Lower left corner. The
Right,
subscribe.
right.
Right.
This is
Yeah.
right
You'll
hand.
see it. Subscribe. You can't miss it. Also visit Alpine Canine Real. That's where Hans has the personal protection videos, the step-by-step process, the way he trains them to be samurais. We had this. What, you want a samurai? Well, I don't want to say soccer player, but I like you want a samurai next to you, or you want a sport dog? You know, that's what,
I said, you want to have a samurai or a soccer player?
soccer player.
And he likes soccer.
I don't know. Point being, whatever.
But it's a sport, right?
Yeah. So
Americans think soccer is a sissy sport, but it's not.
no,
Believe
it's
me.
not. No,
One of the hardest sports I ever played.
you'll be in shape if you play it. But he also has basic obedience training. It's called no nonsense obedience, right? No
It's
nonsense.
one of the most popular tapes.
It is, yeah.
I mean, videos.
Yeah, it is.
See, I'm dated. I say tapes.
Tapes, yeah. It's broken down to 10 lessons basically on that video. No cookie training. There's no cookie in that or toys. Just building relationship with your dog. That's kind of a
There's actually a video before that, the theoretical part.
yes.
There's no, so it's like an hour or
Yeah,
so.
it's good. Really good. If you have a
Explains everything, how it's done and how. You know.
why, yeah. And also, if you have a puppy right now or want to get a puppy, how to feed raw. Also, there's that too. And if you guys are interested in puppy or young prospects, Hans is your man for the check.
Yeah, and I want to say also, if you do guys buy video, you can always reach me over Facebook or email or
Yeah.
something. I'll help you. I'm
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
I'm not. How do you say it? Unreachable.
Yeah, no. You help people with questions.
People
and stuff.
call.
Yep.
Say, Hans is an asshole. And I say, we asshole gotta stick together.
No, but people call you. I mean, you love talking dogs. I mean, it's just that's what you are, and that's what you do, and it's not like a job when you talk dog. You know, you just
How do they say it? If you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
There's
right?
truth in it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So, all right, everyone. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next time.
Ahoy.
Ahoy.